absolutely in a changing market when it comes to real estate for sure. Like we've seen a little bit of a shift in the marketplace. It's not a market crash, it's a little bit of a correction. As far as traffic, like in a lot of cases, prices haven't gone down, but we're seeing that sellers can no longer push the envelope as much as they have in the past. And maybe if they've got a special property, they can do that. But right now, we've hit a plateau in pricing. We've seen inflation go up. We've seen interest rates go up because of inflation. We're seeing, because of the interest rates, a little bit less demand. Instead of 11 offers, we're seeing 2 offers, or maybe no offers on the first day, and maybe the days on market in real estate is actually getting longer. That's what we're basically seeing, not in every market, but in most markets. It's kind of the tenor. Like that's what I'm getting from a lot of my coaching clients. That's what I'm getting from people locally here, Ocala, and the villages in Florida. That's what I'm seeing right now. So I've come up with 11 things that we need to do. There's probably 20 other things that we can do, but at least 11 things that we need to do right now to succeed in this little bit of a shift. And the first thing I've got is, we need to set expectations with our buyers and sellers. So with our buyers, they need to understand that this isn't a market drop. This isn't a market crash. This is basically, guess what? You're not going to have to give away your firstborn. You basically might have some competition, but you have an opportunity. So don't go all the way to the extreme, like, oh my gosh, I can offer, half price. That's not what we're looking at. Now you have an opportunity to maybe negotiate a little bit. Terms can loosen up a little bit, as opposed to you had no rights, and like I said, just giving up your firstborn. That's not, no longer in that marketplace. On the seller side, obviously, we need to explain to them what's going on. Unless they've got a specialty property, they can no longer push the envelope. But more importantly, the expectations we need to set are, it might take a little bit longer to sell your property. It might take 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or it might take 10 days or 5 days, depending on the marketplace, as opposed to it's going to take 5 minutes. So set expectations in the beginning. And it reminds me of a story that I went to a restaurant probably about 4 or 5 weeks ago. At a small restaurant, they were kind of busy, and the owners told us, you know what, it might be, are you sure you want to eat tonight? I think it was a Friday night, Saturday night. And we're going to be really busy, and the kitchen is going to be slow because we have a small kitchen. We said, no problem. We're not in a big hurry. And it really wasn't that long, but the owner set the expectations up front. So that way, we weren't going to be disappointed. We've got to do the same thing, with our clients. So set expectations. That's the first one. The second one is, know the numbers. Know the numbers in the marketplace. So you can actually very, very in a very detailed way, you can actually tell your customers, this is what's going on. This is what's happening, and this is why, because these are the numbers we're seeing. This is how much inventory has gone up. This is our, sales price is about the same. Days on market have gone up. Inventory has gone up a bit, and this is the cause of it. So be really descriptive with your numbers, numbers in a buyer presentation, in a seller presentation, so that way your buyers and sellers understand the marketplace. Not just describing it, but description with facts and proof that whatever you're saying, however you're describing the market, this is why, okay? And you're backing it up with evidence. So that way it makes your story more believable with buyers and sellers. The third thing I have is, communicating with old leads. So there might be some sellers that said, I want to wait a little bit. Now's the time. I think it's probably the best time to sell right now, or one of the best times to sell. And I think for buyers, it's also a really good time to buy, because if they wait any longer, interest rates could go up. So people that have cash that are looking for a deal, maybe they need to wait a little bit. Maybe there's going to be some deals out there. It's possible. But for the people that are motivated and they're just not sure whether I should buy now or in the fall, I think now's a really good time for both parties to actually move forward. So communicating with your old leads as a real estate agent, look at those old buyer leads, look at those old seller leads, and see who is out there that wants to still make a move in 2022. That should be our message. Like, are you still interested in buying or selling in 2022? Number four is really communicating with our past clients and creating, a CMA a day or several CMAs a day, and just communicating with our past clients and the people that we have out there that are seller leads, and really letting them know, how much is your home worth. I think that's a big deal. But I think more than ever, I think now we have to really execute with this shifting marketplace. Our mindset needs to be strong where, okay, it might be time to take a week off for a vacation, but not a whole month off as agents. Like, we need to be mindful of that. It's time to really execute at a high level on our plans for whatever they are, like the plan of, where are we? End of May, beginning of June. What's your plan for production between now and the end of the year in 2022, and execute on that plan in a big way. So whether it's direct mail, whether it's farming, whether it's online leads, whether it's connecting with whoever you need to connect with, expireds, for sale by owners, which, by the way, for sale by owners need us now more than ever. That's a big play. But really, if it's social media, like create, make, do. Just like execution is on my mind right now as a big deal. So that's number four: execute in a big way, and maybe execute with one of those lead sources that I just talked about. The next one is leveraging as best you can. So leveraging your vendors, for referrals, leveraging your admin help, maybe office support, or maybe it's going to be leveraging an assistant. Maybe you need to get an assistant, maybe you need to get an in-house person, an ISA, or maybe it's going to be a virtual assistant, which is also a possibility. But leveraging people to the point where you can actually do point four, which is make, do. Sometimes you got to execute, and sometimes you need help in the execution. So finding help is a really big deal. Number six is, really working your past clients in sphere. And, I always talk to a lot of my folks inside our office and, the people that I coach as well. Like, there's four facets to that, and making sure that you're not only connecting with them directly. So first one is obviously, or, 6A would be, contact directly, whether it's a DM or a message, direct message in Facebook, or a text, or a phone call, or an in-person meetup, coffee time, that type of thing. But we also need to make sure that we've got a good email newsletter going out to them. We need to make sure that we're connecting with them on social media, make sure that they're part of, either following us or friends with us, that type of thing, and putting out really thoughtful content, not just content that's going to be, I just sold the place, but really thoughtful educational things that's actually going to help the public and help your people that you know. Okay. And also the last one is maybe a nice direct mail piece, letting them know that you're actually successful in a nice, thoughtful, elegant way. A just sold piece, or a just listed piece, or a market update piece, or a testimonial piece, just to show your people that you're actually still winning, I think is really important. My next point, number 7, is don't isolate yourself. And I'm seeing this with certain people in certain markets, where some people have just like, they hibernated, and because they basically, maybe some scary things have been happening where, okay, it's a little bit slow, so they basically put the blanket over their head and just kind of hide a little bit. And it's easy to kind of wallow in, no, things aren't that great and slow, and buyers are hesitant and sellers want more money, and you can get into a weird mindset. So make sure you shake that off, because that's not going to be helpful. So I've never known any kind of bad mood to actually help you in business. So we got to make sure that we're in a good mindset. But part of that good mindset is, and getting into that good mindset, is making sure you're not isolating yourself. Like at our company, we make sure we have a caravan where people can connect. It's an opportunity not just to look at homes, but for people to connect with each other, share ideas, what's happening in the marketplace, what are you doing that's working, and just like being very cooperative and just a collaborative effort. But make sure you're not isolating yourself. It could be socially, it could be business-wise, because real estate is one of those industries and careers where it's easy to be a person and you feel like an island. So isolation, not a good thing. Number 8 is, have a growth mindset, which is obviously making sure you're connected to the last point. Make sure your mindset's really strong. Make sure you're in a position and a thought process that you should be scaling your business. How do you grow your business in an environment where there's a lot of fear about, war, inflation, and, interest rates going up? What is it that you have to do to grow your business in the last half of 2022? That should be part of your mindset, is like, okay, what do I need to do? Even though I had a really strong first half of the year, perhaps, or slow, or whatever it was for you. Most of my people are having a real strong first half of the year. Let's duplicate it, or let's do a little bit more. What can we do to actually grow? So having that growth mindset and growth mentality, and also know that in a growth mindset, you're going to be doing some things that might be unique to you, a little bit different, that you've never done before. Maybe you've never managed or led people before, or maybe you haven't done a particular lead source. And that basically means that you're going to be a little bit uncomfortable in the process. So getting comfortable with being uncomfortable is an old cliche, but it's very true. And just know that the things that you're implementing right now in a growth type of mindset is going to be a little bit uncomfortable. It's okay. You're not going to die. So make sure that you are in that mode of growth. That's a big deal. That's number 8. Number 9, knowing your numbers. So we talked about the numbers in the marketplace. The next thing we have to really look at is knowing your numbers. Where are you so far this year? How many deals have you closed? How many deals do you have pending? What do you have in the hopper? What's coming up in your pipeline? What looks warm? And then, trying to look at, how much money you've made. How much money, what's your split, what's your net bottom line after business expenses, knowing those numbers, and then looking at, okay, I'm here at this point, and I want to go to the next point, which is, maybe it's point B, right? I want to make X amount of money. That means I have to do this many deals, so on and so forth. Where is that business going to come from? Understanding the numbers, your business numbers, is really paramount if you're going to really have a sustainable business. Remember, you are, as a real estate agent, realtor, you are your own CEO. So knowing your numbers is super crucial. For many of my people, we go over, profit and loss statement at least once a month. Knowing how much money you have in the bank and knowing why you want to do it is really, really crucial. Number 10 is mental toughness is everything. We've got to increase our mental toughness, because it's been really, really relatively easy in real estate, and it's maybe a little bit more challenging. It's definitely becoming more of a skill-based industry, meaning you better practice, and this is a bonus point, like you better practice your verbiage, how you're talking to people, what you're saying to people. Being able to communicate with your sellers once a week is going to be crucial now that we've got longer days on market. And we're moving towards more of a 2018, 2019 marketplace. It's not a market crash, but more of a normal marketplace, whereas the last couple of years has been far from normal. So increase your mental toughness. I've always said this, that in this business, the more problems you have means the more money you're going to make, right? So get used to it and be prepared to take some punches for sure. And then number 11 is, we've got a plan for the next couple of quarters, next couple of months, and really have a clear idea of how much you want to do for the next couple of months. Where do you want to go in your business? How much money do you want to make? And understand with clarity what your why is, and make sure you have that up front on a board so you can see it on a daily basis. That's really, really important. So feel free to connect if you have questions. Look forward to seeing everybody soon.